Afternoon, everybody. How are you? Beautiful statue downtown Sarasota here. It's like a book theme. Let's see the back of it. It's a very detailed statue here. It's got a bookshelf with a family reading. Look at the detail here. This guy's got a watch. Can you see the watch there? And there's a little child here. I never really got close to the statue. There's a little clown doll, kind of a menacing, almost an evil clown. Look at the clown's eye has a little, like a button eye. That's kooky, isn't it? Your average family just reading a book, having a good time. Maybe some blocks here. A beautiful statue. It's called Sharing by Bruno Lucchesi. I guess it is 2002. Beautiful statue. I'm always kind of envious of statues. My eyes are sweating. I'm sorry. I have very sweaty eyes. It's because it's probably about 92 degrees right now. Anyway, we're downtown Sarasota by the library out here. It's a really beautiful area. You know, depending on your mood, you could come down here and think, there's homeless people and it's dirty and whatever. And then sometimes I think when your eyes are open and you're sort of in that taking in the sights mood. What does that even mean? When you're smelling the roses, that's a euphemism I like to use. Smelling the roses. When you're in the mood to smell the roses and enjoy the beautiful area. Like I said, it's hot, but it's beautiful. All the Sarasota and Florida in general has beautiful, crazy weather. You can see some dark, I don't know if you can tell, some dark clouds out there. Anyway, I saw an old friend. Excuse me while I douse my face off. Sorry. Did I say it's hot today? Did I mention that? It's fairly hot today. All right, now that I got the sweat out of my face, I saw an old friend downtown, and it sort of reminded me, got me thinking. Do you ever do that? You see an old friend and start thinking about that time? 2014, it was 2008. I remember I used to hang out with somebody and memories start kind of flooding back a bit where you're, here's the library, by the way. Selby Public Library. I remember a long time ago, before this building was not even here yet, it used to be in the Gee Whiz building, the original Selby Library, which is a beautiful building, but it's not as large. Like I said, wonderful day, beautiful trees. The weather's not perfect. It was raining a little bit earlier, but as soon as that sun comes out, I tell you, I feel like one of those flowers that opens up. I just need to get out and sweat a little bit and enjoy some of the Florida sunshine. I feel like I'm a flower sometimes, where I need to be out in the sun. Some condos over there. Even the condos look nice today. Do you ever notice that some days you're in the mood to just, it's a wonderful day today. I'm really enjoying myself. Excuse me. And everything seems brighter today. The colors seem more vivid. And I think it's sort of it's something about your brain that sort of, you have to be in that mood to really enjoy things. I don't know anybody that's 100% in the mood for just, being loving life and all that. Me, I'm very moody, up and down, up and down. And I'm not always in the mood for just enjoying things. I wish I was, I really do. We're here on Central Avenue, just crossing Central by Salons by JC. They should change that to JS for John Swift. Anyway, we're in the ritzy district, right by the fancy stores. I'm trying to figure out what's here. Right on the other block, I think, is Starbucks over there. You got a lot of boutiques in this area because of these fancy condos. They've put up a lot of boutiques in this area. Anyway, the point I wanted to actually talk about is, like I said, ran into an old friend, started thinking about stuff when I was going to school in 2013, 2014. Went to a school where they had a drafting class or a drafting and design class, where basically you would learn how to design buildings and or draw buildings. But today it's all on computer. Like in the old days, you'd have to pull out the ruler and all those instruments and draw stuff. And these days it's like, you ever heard of CAD drawing? It's like computerized drawing. And I was just thinking about how this might get deep for a few minutes, or a few more minutes than that, 10 minutes. Just sort of how life is funny, and how sometimes, alright, I'm getting to a point here in a minute. As soon as the noisy truck goes by. She knows. That lady knows right there. She knows what's going on. Yeah, I always think about how when you're getting out of high school, a lot of people are like, a lot of parents are like, you got to go to college, you got to get an education if you want to be successful. And I think it's coming to the time where we realize that that's not really, this is a Whole Foods market over here, where you have a lot of colorful people. That guy's waving over there, the guy in the hat over there is waving. He sees me vlogging. That's a first. Normally people usually ignore me for the most part. But that guy, I think, you see that guy over there? He was standing over there in the corner. He saw me. When I'm going live, I forget to look to see if there's anybody on here a lot of times, because I'm facing the screen away from my face, so I don't see it. So if you've said anything, or anybody is posting comments and I'm not looking, I'm sorry. Look at this. I apologize for that, because the way my phone is the way the phone is facing, I can't see it when I'm doing this. So if I don't see your comments, I apologize. Anyway, look at this. We have a lot of murals in Sarasota. I've done a couple videos where I've highlighted just the murals in Sarasota, which are beautiful. And some of them, I can't really tell the exact nature, because it's a lot of designs and swirls. It looks like something like a dragon or something. Beautiful though, right? It looks like it says Eon 75. A lot of these guys have these handles, or they're pseudo-names for art. It doesn't say Bill Smith on there. See, I'll show you over here. It seems like they pop up every once in a while. It's been something I want to do. It looks like it says Econ 75, right? You see that? Econ 75? It's been something I want to do, is interview one of these guys who do these murals and just ask them about how do you go about doing that? Because this thing is huge. This thing's got to be, I don't know, what, about 15, 16 feet high and about 30 feet long? Amazing. It's a very hipster area. Yeah, back to the education thing. Sometimes, in my experience, there's been, when I was getting out of school, I remember my dad, almost got hit by a car there. I remember my dad saying specifically, when I graduated from high school, it was like, you either need to get a job or you need to go to school. My dad was sort of no bones about it. There was no discussion about, options and things. And the funny thing is, in my family, my dad was a very talented guy. My dad played the flute, and I think he played the drums at one time. Not when I was especially growing up, but before I grew up, I consider my dad a Renaissance guy, where I have pictures of him doing gymnastic stuff, doing handstands on top of ladders, and doing what I would call tumbling, or when you see human balancing in the circus, you have 3 guys balancing on each other, or 1 guy on the bottom and 2 guys on the top. I've got pictures of my dad doing that kind of stuff, which must have been a popular thing maybe in the 40s or 50s, where people would just learn how to do gymnastics, and they would, I guess, do it out at the beach. I don't know. I wasn't alive during the 50s. But I see that kind of thing, and I think, that looks pretty cool, man. Sitting out on the beach. I wonder if the chicks came out and checked it out when you were balancing. I have to put those pictures up on Instagram. I pulled them out the other day. There's some black and white photos of my dad It's kind of hard to tell because it's like it's a wide shot, like a grainy black and white photo. Maybe we'll cut through over here, City Hall. All right, anyway, back to my main topic. I'm sorry. I'm having one of those days where I'm having trouble focusing, like an ADHD type of thing, where I'm just not staying on talking. Yeah, we can walk right through here. City Hall here, folks. Exciting City Hall, Sarasota. Anyway, I went to school around 2013, and after about 6 months of that, I started just not feeling it. Like it was just something that maybe I wasn't interested in. But rather than just quit 6 months in, this was like a what they call like a community college type thing or whatever. And I was going like full time, so I started going half time, part time, and doing some part time work then. And I got sort of depressed right in the middle of that period. It's a nice little shady spot right here. We can just sort of hang out. Look at that blue car over there. A teal blue Porsche. I tell you what, man. You come down here downtown and there's some beautiful areas. Look at this, just this beautiful little wooded area with the beautiful plants. I really love, I've been working in the yard for about 3-4 weeks. Like every other day, I'm out in the yard sweating and enjoying the plants. So, yeah, after I got halfway through school, I started doubting whether this is something I could do. Doing the drafting and designing, I just sort of got the impression that something wasn't clicking. And just seemed like that wasn't going to work out. But like I was self-doubting. That's what I felt like it was like there was something pulling at me. I finished the year. I finished the 1 year mark till the summer. And when I got out, I started thinking seriously about not going back, because usually you'd have a summer break, then you'd go back for the next full year of school. I was in my 40s just to let you know. I was an adult student, and I came to the decision that it just wasn't something that I was passionate about, design and stuff like that. I love making things and being like a designer in my mind, but sitting down at a computer for 8 hours a day, it was just something that wasn't natural. Like I think it's my nature to be up and about, and that's what mostly I've always had jobs that are very active and not just desk jobs. Longest I think I've ever done a desk type job is like I was like a secretary type person for a mortgage company for about 6 months, I think. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't what I wanted to be doing, of course. It was just paying the bills. And I had another job where I was a production person, but I spent a lot of time in the office where I was editing all day long. And it was just like sitting in an enclosed room, and I figured that wasn't something. It just, you know when something isn't clicking with you. So let's get to the meat of what I want to say. This is what I usually do, is I sort of dance around. In today's world, you don't have to go to college to be a successful person. There are many there's people yelling across the street on bicycles. Here's another really great mural. I have never seen this one. I probably went by this about 100 times. This is a dual. Oh, check that out. They got an Instagram thing. That's cool. I've always wondered how to contact these people, because I want to interview somebody who does this. If you know anybody who does this kind of thing. So looks like it's like, I don't even know how you say that. Thai Stade. And then there's like a different name here, but that's an Instagram thing. So I'm gonna come back and check that out. This is a really good one, mural. I don't know if you enjoy murals. I enjoy murals a lot. I just think the creativity. I always wish I could be. I always have dreamt about being sort of an artist, but I don't think I have the temperament and the patience for that thing. But look at this. It says, expect a masterpiece. Just the fact that somebody dreamt that up from nothing. There was a blank wall there, or a blank canvas, and somebody sat and designed this beautiful thing. And I've seen another one that's very similar where it's a guy, see how it's a lady with a paint can? It's a guy with a spray can and he's spraying that out. And I wonder if it's the same guy. But just amazing that this is basically somebody's mind poured out on a canvas. To me, is amazing. It's amazing. Occasionally, I will sketch things, and my artistry is through photography, which I do on Instagram. It's Mr. John Swift on Instagram. But I feel really drawn to capture things and take pictures of things, and similar with video. You know, you see a beautiful scene where you've got all these beautiful palm trees and lovely other shrubs, and I want to capture that. And the sky's just a certain way with the clouds. It's just amazing, and it's just it's like I said, it's a passionate thing, and it's like I want to capture that moment, because at any moment ow, my right arm, I'm getting a cramp in my shoulder. Any moment the clouds could turn, and this scene could be different, and it's a challenge to capture these images. For me anyway, and I've always been like that. And when I first got a video camera, going way back to 1988, I think, or 89, or right around there, 1989 or 90, I first got a video camera. It was like a whole new world opened up to me. I had one of those big cameras that was about a foot long, where you put it on your shoulder and you hold the front, you know, those, and you have like an eyepiece in your eye, you know, those kind, not even the handy cams, but the big VHS one. It was like I was able to capture time or capture memories or capture moments, and it was like I used to ride dirt bikes, and I used to love going out and shooting dirt bikes. I'll have to put that dirt bike video on. There's a video that I made about dirt bikes back in the day that I edited on a VHS camera on the fly. I'll have to put that up at some point. Talk about that, how that was one of my first videos, and it was just like amazing to see myself doing stuff on video. When I was a kid, way back when, video was a very rare thing, because not many people had cameras. And I don't even know if they had the small handy cams. When I talk about the handy cam was one that was about as big as your hand, and it had the little compact eyepiece, and that's what I call like a handy cam. Like a Sony handy cam was the small, and I had the big one. But not many people had those, period, in the 80s. There's a few people here and there. And whenever I saw somebody, I'd be super jealous that somebody else had a handy cam or a video camera. Now everybody has a video camera in their phone. So, yeah, the thing I keep wanting to get back to is, in my household, we weren't told that you can be anything you want, for whatever reason. And I feel very strongly about that now. As far as you should let your kids know that in today's society, with the internet and the ability to do so many things, such as earn a living, you know, through the internet, or, you know, things that would be much, much harder, like filmmaking that you can put on YouTube and things like that, is so much more accessible today. In the old days, if you wanted to make a movie, you had to make a movie, then you had to send it in to people and shop it around and to get paid for that movie. But now with, you know, YouTube and these streaming things, you can actually do things that are just very accessible from your house, you know. You grab a little camera. And I think we should be telling our children, this is just my soapbox rant now, that you can accomplish whatever you want, and you don't have to have a 4-year degree to do it. A four-year degree is a good thing. I have a 2-year degree in television, and it's a good thing. But as I've said many times, I've never showed that degree to anybody in 30 years. I've never had to pull out my degree and say, I have a degree in TV. I put it on my resume, but it's not something that actually, let's just say it this way. It was a worthwhile thing to be in school and to have that knowledge and spend that time learning the craft of television and production and storytelling and all those things and directing. But it was not a necessary thing, because a lot of people that I worked with in television did not have a degree, and they were just passionate about what they did, and they were able to start up in a, you know, like as a camera person, and then work their way into the. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you a little bit today, is that because you don't have a degree or because you're not necessarily like, I'm gonna hashtag this, or not, what is this, quotation mark, you're not an educated person. Because you didn't go to school, or you didn't complete school, doesn't mean you're not an educated person. Let me get a fire truck over here. A big ladder truck. I wonder what's going on over there. Couple firemen just sort of hanging out. And there's a piece of paper flying through the air over there. You ever think about that movie? There's a movie where there's a plastic bag dancing. It's a very arty film. And the plastic bag is just kind of flying around on its own because of the wind. Where's that plastic bag? Can you see that up in the sky? There's a plastic bag over there. It's like it's flying away like a kite. Where is that plastic bag? It's got a life of its own. It's like way up here. Somewhere up here. It's a piece of... It's kind of a clear plastic bag. Can you see that thing flying away out there? I guess there's no emergency over here because the fire truck, that thing is still out there. Why am I fascinated by stuff like that? As soon as the wind dies, I bet that will calm down, but there's a real thin piece of plastic, like, why am I fascinated with it? Can you see it now? Now you can see it. It's like flying on its own. You see that thing? Ah, it's amazing. It doesn't happen every day. It's kind of like a butterfly. Now can you see it? See that thing up there? I can't see it through the phone because my phone's all dirty. That's funny. Always reminds me of that movie with Kevin Spacey's in it. He's filming a plastic bag that's like by the garage. The wind is making it dance, so it's just sitting there dancing, and he's making this, like I said, like a home movie type thing. Anyway, I think I'm about all talked out for today. A little tired. It's a nice breeze today, though. So what I wanted to say is, don't let the fact that you maybe don't have a degree in something keep you from living your dreams, working toward your goals, and going where you want to go. Because it's written in stone, because you don't have the right education, that you can't become a photographer or an artist or a banker. That I'm not putting down anything that's non-creative. A hairdresser. Well, hairdresser may be different. You have to go to school for that, but there's certain jobs, like being Elon Musk, that is not necessarily something where you need a degree. There's a lot of people that they quote that never had a high school education, like supposedly like Albert Einstein, but I think that's not true. Anyway, I'm losing my train of thought. Hope you guys enjoyed this little quick tour of the beautiful downtown Sarasota. Make sure you go to the Warhol Flowers in the Factory at Marie Selby Gardens there. Whew, I'm getting tired. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you tuned in and watched this, I appreciate you guys. Just wanted to kind of gab at you today for the heck of it. My shoulder's getting sore from holding this phone. Did some yard work yesterday. I think my arm's a little sore. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you later. So whenever you hit the X, it usually takes a minute for it to stop. So we'll see you guys later. End of live shot.